Hello, good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Overwatch Watchers Brawl. I'm Threepwood007, and I'm joined by the wonderful Sir Waltham.
Hello, Threepwood. Always good to be here.
What a joy it is to be here again for some wonderful Overwatch. Tonight we have a winner's bracket match. We're going to be looking at Maximize Gaming and Big Oof Energy, both of which have been marching their way right into what is now, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the semi-finals of the Overwatch Watchers Brawl.
Yeah, you could also call these the winner's brackets finals because, of course, the winner of this match will be going up against the winner of the loser's bracket final or the loser's semifinals.
Aptly said. We are going to be getting into the match very shortly. Let's talk about Hanamura. We've seen this map over and over and over again on this tournament. We are going to see Maximize Gaming start off on defense with Big Oof Energy having to make that first very unpleasant push through that Sakura treed choke.
Yeah, I do think that both teams are going to have a little bit of a path to carve ahead of them. Obviously, both of them have climbed their way to these finals, not losing a single round of games here. I mean, some maps have been dropped, I believe, on the side of Big Oof Energy. Maximize Gaming so far making a strong showing, but anything can change. These teams so far have risen to the top of all their games.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And looking at Hanamura, it's going to be interesting. Last time Waltham and I saw Maximize Gaming in action, on Ilios in particular, they favored a very, very nasty full court press strategy, stuffing the enemy team back into their spawn before they really had a chance to react. How will that fare on Hanamura?
I think that full court presses a little bit more difficult to pull off in Hanamura. Whether you're talking attack or defense, the defense on this first point can really feel most safe around that one gate choke, whereas on the second point you can hold high ground, but you can't really press past that. So not going to be as easy a map to press forward, but some aggression, some controlled aggression, I'll say, can still prove the team very beneficial.
I think that's exactly what they're going for, as we're not seeing a customary, almost trademark Mei on the defense. Maximize Gaming instead opting for a modified version of the double snipers that used to be so popular on this map, swapping out the Widowmaker for an Ashe.
Yeah, once again, I always talk about how that Ashe is so crucial in these tight choke points where you're going to have so many people funneling through to get that dynamite thrown in there and just build off massive ult charge from that DOT damage.
On the other side, we're going to see Big Oof Energy, or BOE, drop into Viagra Panda's Widowmaker. We've seen some very excellent play from this individual, so I'm hoping to see some more. And the tanks are running right for the choke, and the Reinhardts are swinging away. Big Sleep Dart onto Stingray. That's going to catch him, and much excellent ult charge for both Reinhardts, though.
Yeah, it has to be very careful for Maximized Gaming of Just Bobby on this Genji. Just Bobby, in so many games we've seen, has been a thorn in the side of enemy teams.
And here we see it. Maximize Gaming pressing deep past that choke. Viagra Panda's going to pick up the Lucio, though. And a grab already from Razor! Unbelievable play as the Reinhardt swings into it, and Stingray has generated his shatter half ahead, and Maximize Gaming is going to take that first fight handily.
Yeah, and although I talk about Just Bobby being a nuisance, it's really going to be Zebro on the other Shimada brother who's going to show a little bit more DPS prowess and picking up a lot of those kills.
Just Bobby definitely building towards that grab in a satisfactory manner, but Razor getting that grab so quickly. Massive shatter comes in! Woof! Unbelievable. Stingray had it from the first grab. Big Oof Energy never saw it coming, and it's going to be almost a complete team wipe.
Yeah, one crucial thing to remember, Viagra Panda getting that headshot onto Neef's. Neef's going to have a little bit of a walk back time. However, with Viagra Panda getting returned on Zebro, it looks like the staggers will be about even.
It's going to be a big 5v5. Just Bobby coming up on that blade. Going to have that soaring away nano boost to couple with it. Sight's also going to let them know where all those tasty little squishy targets are.
Yeah, you definitely want to be doing your homework, doing your reconnaissance a little bit beforehand. Looks like we might be seeing the combo get set up here. As soon as they see their opening, they're going to take it. But with Soaring Away dropping, it's not going to happen.
Huge pick. Soaring Away drops early into the fight. The Nano Boost instead goes on to Stingray from the other side, who has, of course, already built up his shatter again. Razor a little behind now, not really having the opportunity to have his bubbles absorb a lot of damage.
And Maximize Gaming really kind of putting to the contrary what I said earlier. They're doing a very forward push, and then they're pulling back immediately. They're not holding forward, but they are pushing forward and kind of ebbing and flowing with the tides and winds of their their team fights so far.
Zebra's DPS is coming through magnificently, making sure that that one single pick that is acquired makes the big thing happen, but here comes Just Biba coming in. The barriers is ready though. Just Biba, despite the mana, is gonna get shattered. Counter shatter coming out of the grab, and now the barriers are on the field for both teams. Bobby is gonna get a kill, and Italis is also gonna pick it up. This could be Big Oof's energy entry, but Maximize Gaming claps back. Viagra Panda though is there, removing the tanks from the field, and that's gonna be Big Oof energy on the point.
Yeah, and one of the most crucial plays we saw coming out of there was from Soren away. The Sleep Dart came in and hit Zebro in the middle of that Dragon Strike ultimate, meaning that he not only lost the ult, but prevented that push from being stalled out as efficiently as possible. And then the cleanup on the Hanzo was almost instantaneous as well.
Yeah. Now, Maximize Energy was able to clear the point for a moment, but the spawn advantage from Big Oof Energy is so huge, they're able to get individuals on the point faster. Now, they're not really doing anything yet. Viagra Panda is going to eliminate a massive Zebro from the field. That's a huge DPS potential, and they have switched to a very punchy dive. Paralysis on the Winston, and Viagra Panda picks up Akitoshi with a nice headshot on the Granny. No hailing for you, and Paralysis jumps on top of the Reinhardt. This is looking more and more like Big Oof Energy is starting a game.
Yeah, and I definitely think Maximize Gaming might make the call here. Perhaps Neef's getting a little too far forward. Not the best play. You do not want to feed more ultimate charge when the point is looking already so captured by the attacking team, Big Oof.
Yep, and they're not going to be not much snowball potential here. With only Viagra Panda having an ult, they're going to finish that just outside of overtime, but they're really only going to have 4 minutes left to attack this point B, which is brutal.
Yeah, and I think the key here is going to be seeing if they stick with Viagra Panda on this Widow for the next few pushes to get them set up on that high ground. Last time we saw Viagra Panda get on that high ground was absolutely devastating, and it was so hard for the defending team to contest.
Now, it's an interesting flex. Stingray has moved onto a Winston of their own, but only a Zarya to back them up. No customary team. Just Baba picks up the Akitoshi's honor really early in the fight. Again, a huge source of healing denied, but they're sitting here on the high ground. They're not willing to jump in just yet, knowing how quick that spawn is. But there it is. Gods is going to compile driving in, getting a huge chunk of damage and building up to that. Oh, but he's going to get popped out too quickly.
Yeah, it seems like they were trying to wait for Viagra Panda, who got picked off very early, and Just Bobby, massive.
Whoa, incredible Tracer Bomb coming in there, getting both the Akitoshi again the minute he gets back onto the field.
Yeah, and without Bob getting on the point, there is going to be progress made, and that's going to be a few ticks, or a tick, in fact, towards Big Oof.
A pile driver comes in, doesn't really get anything, but it almost doesn't matter, as both Lucios have their barriers pressed, and Big Oof Energy is so close to another tick, but it looks like Maximize Gaming is going to be able to drive them away.
Yeah, but still, you have to give it up for Big Oof. They were able to perhaps disorient Maximized enough to make them throw that Bob in a less than optimal position and really capitalize on his bad placement and failure to contest.
Indeed, and speaking of which, it looks like Paralysis is going to pop on the Zebro, who has already built up to his blade, switching to the younger of the Shimada brothers. Yet, Maximized Gaming is showing some incredible ult potential, and Viagra Panda looks like she's going to get taken out before the fight even started. No, they make it out. Instead, it's the Lucio who goes down. Big minds on the field, and yes, Viagra Panda does go down. But now it's time for another Tracer Bomb. But here comes Zebro on the blade, but it's not going to be enough. Maximized Gaming still maintains a solid man advantage, but the massive grab right before Zebro's blade ends is enough to solidify the hold.
Yeah, overall, it did not look favorable for Team Maximized, but they were able to turn it around courtesy of the 3 ults they did have to invest on top of Stingray's Primal, which came right as Gods' Minefield was coming out. So overall, a big investment, but in the end, it allowed them to hold the point.
Interesting situation now. We have Paralysis coming up on a Primal Rage. Viagra Panda maybe going to have sights for the fight. No other player on the field, including Maximized Gaming, really has anything to throw into this. We need a dry push from either team to solidify something. Ooh.
Yeah, Viagra Panda getting picked by Nice is going to be a tough spot. As I said, Viagra Panda really wants to get set up in that high ground position. I don't think the team will want to push in without him being set up and nice and cozy in the high perch.
So they're going to throw their sights early. They're not going to be able to take advantage of it themselves, but the rest of their team is going to have an eyeball into what's going on.
And as we can see here, Just Bobby going to be doing a little bit of contesting, really putting the pressure to draw people onto point for Viagra Panda to set up the shots for him.
But instead, we're going to see a lot of staggers now coming in. Big Oof Energy is going to have to wait for a lot of respawns to come in, and they're really only going to have one more solid push at this point.
Yeah, overall, Big Oof Energy still getting a notable amount of point progress, 89% already. However, with Neefs using that Infrasight to give them the advantage, it's going to be hard for them to get the jump onto any of Maximize's defensive positionings.
And with a lot of ults about to come online, sights by Neefs about to be expended, a sleep going on to Gods, that's going to halt this push a little. Massive grab, though, is going to come in there. It's going to prevent the rest of the team from coming in, and that's Maximize's gaming signal, despite a pulse bomb going onto their Ana to murder the rest of Big Oof Energy's team. And with only 20 seconds left, Big Oof is now entering stall mode.
Yeah, Soaring Away actually switching off of that Ana to perhaps go to the Moira, get onto point a little bit faster, and it looks like we're going to see Paralysis come right out the last second for a little bit of stall.
Oof. And some really big blades going to have to coming in now. They're going right to the back line. They're going to pick up those healers before they get there. Big Oof Energy, again, going to stall as much as they have. They've made it to 89%. They need picks to get it any further.
Yeah, however, with that minefield proving to be overall ineffective and in fact giving Razor quite a bit of charge on the Zarya bubbles, it's going to just help further their downfall as we see them completely get repelled.
Yeah, really solid option, really solid rather push from Big Oof Energy. Again, they did take the map to 89%, which means they can technically win it out if they can hold Maximize Gaming either at point A or from a capture at point B. However, Maximize Energy also has a chance to win it right here and now by finishing the map completely.
Yeah, overall, Big Oof Energy, I'd still give quite a bit of propers to. They certainly seemed to be holding their own, especially when they were getting so aggressively held on that first point. We generally see when one team is so bold as to push forward and really get in the face of an enemy's spawn, it kind of shakes the team that got pushed back that far. And you can kind of see it throughout their performance through the rest of the round, but I don't think we've seen a whole lot of that. Big Oof Energy really kind of shaking it off, letting it roll off like water off a duck's back, really.
And you know, the bill always comes due. So now they're going to have to put up an incredible defense against Maximize Gaming, who we've seen their aggression on defense and are equally as tenacious on the offense. And it looks like they might be setting up a course with a cheeky Toblerone. But that Ryan Zarya, again, Neefs keeping on the Widowmaker, possibly anticipating some sniper action.
Yeah, Viagra does not look to be playing the Widow this time around, so they do not quite have those long ranges. Viagra proving very proficient on that Widow once they were able to get in position. But last attack just did not seem to be able to maintain.
They got dove a lot. They definitely Maximize Energy, made sure that they didn't have a lot of chance to set up a shot. And yes, there we go. Roses is going to switch onto the Ana. We're going to see Ana Zenyatta coming out of this one. A very, very angry composition, capable of dropping. And Neefs already picks up just Babe with a headshot onto the Elder Shimada. Massive kill. Going to open up the door. And another headshot. Neefs popping off. Vengeance! Reinhardt falls as well. Maximize Gaming taking point A on the end of the scoping and smoking barrel of Neefs.
Yeah, Neefs really proving to be what you want in a Widow. Getting those opening picks, not just one, not just two, but 3 picks. Granted, the Reinhardt was a little bit through the mid-fight, but Paralysis just unable to handle the floodgates once his 2, I believe it was the DPS, got killed. Just a terrible spot for the defending team to have to stick.
Losing Just Baba right out of the gate was enormous, and now he's switching onto the Genji for some of that Nano Blade action. Unfortunately, though, Maximize Gaming has some huge snowball potential, but Just Baba manages to take out Zebros, his counterpart over there, and Neefs is being forced offline. That's going to be a big shatter coming up, but it's going to catch Viagra Panda on a McCree who's not going to fall. Stingray gets anti-nated. He's going to make it out alive with a help of a Zenyatta, and Maximize Gaming's Razor just gets kill after kill with that high energy.
Yeah, God's doing wise to save those bubbles for the Ana anti-nade to come and cleanse Soren as well as themselves. However, it does not look like it will be enough.
Stingray with that nano boost swinging into a grab is one of the most horrific things you can possibly hope for. Gods has such a huge amount of energy, and he is, however, going to eliminate Stingray. Ult's committed to the fight for Maximize Gaming, and with 6 minutes 20 seconds, it might seem insurmountable, but Big Oof Energy has started their defense.
Absolutely, we're going to see Gods and Razor having a little bit of a brawl here, neither wanting to give up their Zarya charge, and, well, in the case of Gods, the possibility for that very large grab. So we're definitely going to be seeing Gods perhaps trying to position in the most optimal way for Bobby to really hack and slash their way through, particularly the soft core of the enemy team.
The ultimate economy from Big Oof Energy has to be, no pun intended, on point. They've got 4 coming online. Slice has just been activated. They need to make sure not to go in. A Shatter goes right into Paralysis Shield. Nothing's going to happen. Trans goes in to counter a Blade. And yes, there is no Nano, so he's not going to be able to get any kills. Razor eliminates him before he can do anything. Massive grab, though, coming out from Gods. Here comes the High Noon. Will it get any kills? No. The barrier prevents it, but it doesn't matter. Big Oof Energy is going to rack him up anyways.
Yeah, that was really kind of not the way I would have expected that play to be set up. We saw the Blade come out, then as Bobby gets burned down by Razor, the grab comes out, making sure that they really have to kind of bait those defensive capabilities against the Blade, then the grab comes out and Focus Fire can really take effect.
Now soaring away, throwing out the little coalescence there that is going to stagger Rose's Ana quite a bit, but maybe that's an ult you wanted to save for the next fight.
Yeah, it really will be hard to tell. Stingray having that Earth Shatter, going to be a setup you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and there we go, soaring away, popping the ult, knowing that they were going to be switching over to the Ana. Maximize Gaming taking the front door.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing Just Bobby jump in and get a double dash. That's going to be very effective.
Ooh, another Stingray Shatter goes right into a shield, and it's not going to result in anything, and picks are looking roughly even right now, but Big Oof Energy is taking the stage here, eliminating most of the members of Maximize Gaming. Only Razor left, trying to hold under the charge, but it's Gods who manages to pick them up and end that fight.
Yeah, a special note that soaring away pretty much uncontested on that high ground as Ana, getting pretty much the free range healing that you really want to optimize as that player. It's truly some superior positioning angles.
Yeah, if you leave an Ana alone like that when they have full line of sight to every member of their team and her new 14 round clip, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it seems like Maximize is really going to have to watch out for those anti-nades, because whenever Stingray gets anti-naded, it's almost like Big Oof just knows to burn him down instinctually.
Ooh, and an early grab comes out, but unfortunately it's not going to result in any kills. Just Baba does pick up the Zenyatta, so a source of healing and damage gone, but now Just Maximize Gaming looks like they might be reaching the end of a rope. That's a Reinhardt and an Ana down. Here comes a Stingray Shatter that actually connects, but Just Baba comes out with a Blade, and here's Viagra Panda with a Shatter. Deadeye, and it's not going to do anything, it's going to get eaten, but Just Baba's Blade rips apart Maximize Gaming's tanks.
Yeah, the call was really tough there from Stingray. Do you block the High Noon, or do you focus on the Dragon Blade?
Razor throws out the Shatter, and the Shatter gets blocked by Brigitte. And now Maximize Gaming, finally, despite a nanoed Reinhardt on the point, with a rally coming out, is going to start solidifying. Just Baba having switched over to the Bastion, trying for some stall, but Maximize sets up, solidifying a 6-person hold. They're gonna take Hanamura and take it from the clutches of Big Oof Energy.
Yeah, Big Oof Energy still going very large in this game. You love to see that kind of defense. I think we had a 3-minute hold, including several ult-heavy team fights, and it was just really, really solid gameplay.
Yeah, that was really, really good. I loved seeing Big Oof Energy recover from such a really, honestly, this is a really rough offense, and Neefs shutting their stuff on the, the Ashe here, just dishing out damage with that massive dynamite hit. But the cards show it equal measure for both the Anas, and just taking it away, but Big Oof Energy did not make it easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, there was a point during the first push into second point. I was really expecting Razor to almost carry that push with, I believe they got 3 kills off the back end with Zarya just lasering the defensive team in half, but then the respawns came in, and I believe the attacking team lost 2 or 3 people, and then from there they just weren't able to keep up, and sometimes that's just how it goes. It's a convincing fight, but you need it to be just a little bit more convincing.
Right, and Hanamura Hanamura is a little more generous with its spawns than some of the other 2 CP maps, aka Volskaya. And when you come ripping out of the spawn like that on the attack, you've got to know the fights have to be decisive in order to take it to the end. And Maximize Gaming, getting all 6 individuals on the point there at the end, that's exactly what they needed to push it through.
Yeah, not only do you need it so you can cap the point as fast as possible, obviously there's a 3-person capture rate maximum, but just to be able to focus those doors so when anybody does come out, you're able to burn them down pretty much immediately once again to maintain that point presence. Overall efficiency.
Yeah, got it in one. And Big Oof Energy, the loser of the last map, will pick the next map going into it. They are going to pick Numbani, and Maximize Gaming will choose their side. They're going to stay on the blue. They're going to stay on defense at the open. My personal favorite choice. That being said, though, that means that once again, Big Oof Energy is going to be running in to a very nasty offensive, probably.
Yeah, and as usual, I typically expect to see some dive at least on first point. However, I anticipate both teams are going to be trying to keep that Anna on the high ground, at least on defense first point. Near the overpass, you generally like to see that Anna having those clear sight lines that we saw even in Hanamura with Soren and company taking that higher ground to just get free range healing.
And when there's dive on Doombani, there's probably going to be snipers. And given how proficient we've been seeing Neefs on that Ashe and Widowmaker, plus Viagra Panda also on the Widowmaker, and then later on the McCree, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing both of them dueling once again. And I'm sure that'll be a treat to watch.
Yeah, I'm sure Just Bobby will feel a little bit more comfortable if they choose to play the Genji on this map. As we said, dive pretty cozy here. Can be nice to have that mobility on first point. So I think that's going to be the best position for them to pull out the uh the less lethal Shimada brother if you watch the comics.
Aw, sorry guys, but yeah, it looks like we are going to be seeing snipers coming out from both sides initially, and Maximize Gaming bringing out both a Pharmacy and the Widowmaker. Boy, do I love that.
Yeah, pharmacy overall some some solid play. I like seeing pharmacy in general, far as a, a very niche character. I feel there's not a lot of situations in which you can choose to run that combination. But in this one, if you're able to get paralysis off of that high ground with a concussive blast, then it makes them so much easier pickings for the rest of the dive tanks and what have you.
Yeah, Lijiang Tower probably the only other place where you're almost guaranteed to see a Pharmacy coming out. Here, though, we're going to see Zebro, who was showing incredible proficiency on that projectile DPS in the form of the Hanzo, switching over to the Mercy. However, that's going to be the opening now for Viagra Panda to possibly pick one or two of them out of the sky with a well-placed headshot. However, right now we're in the poke stage of dive as both teams isolate their targets and figure out where they want to go.
Yeah, and it does not seem like Maximize is really keeping all their eggs in one basket, really keeping everybody spread, making it difficult for the dive tanks to pick where they want to go.
Yeah, and Gods gets anti-nated pretty early into the fight. He's going to get taken out by a combination of Pharah and every support in the field. Viagra Panda, meanwhile, is going to pick out Zebra, though, but Maximize Gaming is going to strike back, diving onto Viagra Panda and ruining every chance for the Big Oof Energy to really complete this point.
Yeah, and one thing that we kind of saw that kind of highlights a part of Widow's kit is it's not how quickly you can get the kill with Mercy, it's also where you can get the kill. If you can get a kill on a Pharah that will make the Mercy very vulnerable to being attacked, then you're not really going to have the chance to get the res without putting your Mercy in a really high-risk situation. Overall, some good positioning by Viagra Panda, just wasn't able to be capitalized on.
Yeah, like seeing that, and now we're going to see no switches coming out from either side. They're going to be sticking with it, and well they should. Ult percentage is coming online. We're going to see some really tasty stuff coming in. Once again, we're in the poke phase of the dive. Just Baba going in for some scouting, trying to find the right target.
Yeah, and it's worth noting Akitoshi going to be staying pretty far tucked in, however, getting pressed by Soren away. Perhaps that's the pressure they need to prevent that healing from coming through.
Oof, and that's going to be Gods diving in again. Diva is not able to save them. They're going to fall early. The rest of the dive is going to unravel from there.
Yeah, and although I believe the anti-nade came on to Stingray, the focus fire just was not there, especially with Soren away trying to pressure that Ana. It really just kind of left the entire team in a state of frazzlement.
Yeah, it's a rough situation. Again, dive has to be coordinated. You have to be target focused. And if someone's going to go in alone, and the minute one character of dive goes down, unless the picks are about to come in, that dive is done.
Yeah, and I definitely think that now might be one of the best chances for Big Oof Energy with that Nano Blade combo to come out.
Oh, and Neefs on Widowmaker and Viagra Panda both about to get sniped. Well, he's dueling snipes, but Zebro comes in with a preemptive barrage. They're going to pop out Paralysis Azana, but they're going to die with just Baba placing some well-timed shurikens right into their head. So really, it's an even loss, but honestly, Maximize Gaming having destroyed that main healer, that's going to be huge for this push.
Yeah, and it looks like they may just be in the process of waiting out Neef's Infra Sight, as Viagra Panda are going to be popping theirs and really kind of turning the advantage, the information advantage, on its head.
Yeah, and there we go. Here comes Just Baba dropping out the blade with no nano to help. Stingray's Primal Rage is going to remove that from the field, and they are going to pick up a tick on the point. They have barriers now, but the picks aren't going to be enough. They need to start removing Maximize Gaming from the field, but instead it's Rose's Valkyrie who is going to take out Viagra Panda.
Yeah, and God's going to be getting that nano, but not able to hop onto Neef's due to using that jump pack to get onto the top floor. So really kind of a lack of optimization coming through for that ultimate by the Ana.
Yeah, nasty situation. Zebro is going to get eliminated and then res. That's going to be only one member of Maximize Gaming not here for this next push from Big Oof Energy.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much do or die time right now. I anticipate God's going to be using that Primal Rage to get onto, well, not to get onto point. Once they're on point, to just stall out for longer, perhaps try to give their team the biggest opening they can.
Now, unfortunately, they're going to get anti-nated right off the gat again, and that's going to be a Zebro. Oh no, the Genji goes down, but that's the main healer's down, and no one was on the point! Oh, they couldn't get to it, and that's going to be Big Oof Energy sacking up the rest of Numbani. But they are able to get a bit, so if they can hold them to under a tick, Maximize Gaming will forfeit this map, but that's going to be a very nasty hold.
Yeah, for Big Oof Energy, there will be no driving portion of this test, as it's all going to be based on capture percentage right now. And it's going to look pretty optimistic for Maximize Gaming. It's just going to take one or maybe two very convincing team fights to really get that 53.3% that they need.
It's unfortunately for Big Goof Energy a situation where Maximize Gaming does not have to think about the fight after the point. They can commit as many ults as they want to a single fight. You have a lot of game-winning combinations you can roll off of here. Now, Numbani, given its more open, spread-out dynamic, catching everyone in a single grab, for example, is going to be a little tricky, but that can be the fight opener that Maximize needs to take this home.
Absolutely. And Akatoshi doing just incredibly well to stay alive that entire game. I don't know if I ever saw them drop, but they kept hidden in that back room area, not peeking out, so that whenever I believe it was Soaring Away or Gods would try to jump them, the rest of the team would be there almost immediately, and then it would be those two tanks stuck in a small room with 4 other members of the team.
It was a well-coordinated counter dive coming out from Maximize Gaming. Yes, they know their Ana's back there. They know it's a tasty target. When they see the Winston and the D.Va dive back there, they know exactly what they need to do. D.Va doesn't even need to waste any of her defense matrix. She knows she can't go against the Winston. They just need to power it down. And we are going to see the Pharmacy defense come out now from Big Oof Energy. It works so well for Maximize Gaming. I feel like it'll do good for them as well.
Yeah, worth noting that Paralysis will no longer have that Genji Blade 2 combo with, but after getting clobbered by Stingray, the last time they tried to use it, we'll see if it's going to prove to be detrimental this time around.
Yep, and Maximize Gaming also diving back into that high ground. They're going to abandon the dive very early, though. They're not going to try and stick it out there. Instead, they're going to go straight to point, almost picking up a tick, but not quite, as now Big Oof Energy is going to start contesting as well.
Yeah, Italis almost looking a little bit lost getting away from just Bobby, and it's going to cost him.
Yeah, they're going to get focused down by Stingray, who tried to get away. But wow, now the picks are starting to trade, and it's an even 4v4, with Maximize Energy now starting to, unfortunately for Big Oof Energy, rip away. But both main healers are down. Zebro catches just Bobby with a Venom Mine. You love having that cooldown out, and Maximize Energy is the only one left on the point. That's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking at our Winners Bracket Semifinals champion.
Yeah, that was a game that really kind of came down to the scraps. It looked like it was going to be just 2 baby divas and a Genji, or maybe a Lucio thrown in there somewhere. And it was getting very convincing for both sides. It looked like it could have gone either way. But I think Paralysis dropping a little bit earlier than needed was really what sealed it up.
Yeah, we see this. We're going to see the play of the game going to Zebro on the Widowmaker, not the Neefs, who was playing the Genji. But yeah, they're going to pop out the Winston. They're going to get the Venom Mine on the Pharah, and then picking out the D.Va at the very last minute means that Maximize Energy is going to secure that pretty quickly. And here they come now, gunning for the finals.
Yeah, overall, going to be looking very forward to seeing how they're going to be performing on this, their finals, of course. They will be going up against potentially anybody who is still in the losers bracket, which is quite a pool of teams here, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like we still have Dirt as well as Rebind, Shift, and Team Mike Greg up for for contestation.
Yep. It's going to be super exciting to see who is the one who's going to go up against Maximize Gaming. For now, they get a little break while the rest of these matches play out. And then this week, I believe, they are going to see that match play out. But for now, this has been 3.007. You can grab me on Twitter and Twitch at 3.007.
And likewise, I've been Sir Waltham at Sir Waltham Gaming or Sir Waltham on Twitch.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll catch you all tomorrow.
Have a great night and be safe.